want to introduce Ritika, who's my partner and has helped me build our company at Hive. And she's implemented a lot of different types of agentic solutions, specifically on call center, customer support. I know a lot of you have sales organizations or have to deal with a large number of customers. So Ritika, the floor is yours to first give some context about what was like the use case, what are the tools, and how you went through the whole process.
Yeah, absolutely. We were looking for a tool that had voice enablement, wasn't sounding robotic, and was sounding organic enough that customers would actually pay attention and not, keep logging off, right? So we tested a plethora of tools. We were looking at Simple Talk, we're looking at Callers AI, we were looking at OpenAI's APIs that have a few very natural sounding voices. And we have a bunch of different voice agents that we've built with a few of these tools that we tested at the same time before we kind of landed on one. So today I'm going to show you one called Callers.ai. This is their website. You can go to Callers.ai. You can do a bunch of different things with this tool. You can set it up to where it's your personal receptionist and it's answering calls, taking down information, and then maybe shooting you an email about it. You can have it be your receptionist at a doctor's office, or if you're a lending portfolio and you need a couple hundred agents, you can do that as well. It's fairly scalable. They're getting better with sales. I will admit they're not the best at the sales aspect just yet, but it's great for gathering information and performing tasks. It can also kind of call a few leads, gauge their interest, and set up a few appointments. We've seen and tested that use case out on the insurance side as well. So essentially what it looks like once you've logged in is you have the ability to generate a few knowledge bases. So within the knowledge base, you can add in any sort of data source that you'd like. So if you have a training manual, you can just drag and drop that in there. If you have your company website, you can put that in here. You can kind of go in and even put in your own text if you want to just start typing out saying, I want this tone, I want this level of patience, I want the agent to sound a specific way. You can do any number of those things. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to call in to our agent. And so you can hear a little bit of what it sounds like. And just before I start calling, just for context, what we basically have here is an agent that picks up the phone call for one of the lenders that we service. And it is getting an inbound call, and I'm going to ask it a question about my application. And it's essentially something that it'll avoid sending to an agent or, essentially, as we call it, human in the loop, or potentially a manager that might be able to help me further if it's something that it cannot do itself. So I'm going to go ahead and call.
Hi, this is Jen from Floor Credit. How can I help you?
Hey, Jen, I'm calling about my loan application.
Hi there. I'm here to help. Just to get started, do you recall when you applied for your loan?
I think I applied 2 days ago.
Thanks for that. Have you either uploaded your bank statements or linked your bank account during the application process?
Yes, I think on the second day I got an email, so I went ahead and uploaded my bank statements. I think it also asked me for additional details, though I don't know if I left anything outstanding.
Got it. Just to confirm, have you also submitted a photo of your driver's license along with a selfie holding the ID?
Yes, I did.
Thanks for confirming that. When did you submit those documents?
I submitted them yesterday.
Thanks. Your application is still within our 2 to 3 business day review window, so it's currently being processed. You'll receive an update shortly. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, I think I'm okay. I'll look for your email.
Sounds good. If you need anything else later, feel free to reach out. Goodbye and take care.
Bye, Jen. There you go. So how it does that is it goes through a series of, decision trees, and it understands what I'm trying to say. It can ping and look up my information based on what sort of knowledge base I've attached to it. But what I can do with Callers AI is go back in and tweak it. So I can say I had a good call. However, I want it to be more patient. I want it to ask additional information. Maybe there's additional verification questions that you'd like to ask. So you can go ahead and, essentially make the experience whatever you'd want your customer to get. You can also tell the agent, are you expected to do outbound campaigns? Are you expected to do inbound campaigns? You can give it instructions for that specific campaign as well. Link a few different phone numbers with it, adjust its patience level. how fast or slow you wanted to talk, if you wanted to take your time. In some cases, we even add in that they should take a few seconds before responding, because systems can be very quick. It can very quickly check your database and say, here's your status. But we've noticed that customers don't like the super quick approach. They want to feel like the person at the end of the phone call is taking their time and actually going and checking stuff. So we've actually built in some latency on purpose to make it seem more organic. The benefit here is, if I were training a brand new call center representative and I tell them never say this and always say this, they may be prone to forgetting, but these agents don't. So if I give it a list of never talk about lawsuits, legal, never talk about guaranteeing outcomes, it'll follow that guidance to a T. So it actually was easier to manage the compliance aspect, because if you use a knowledge base, if you essentially use a RAG, the agent is less prone to hallucination. So it's not going to make up its own information. It's going to stick to the script, so to speak. The cool thing about Callers.ai and the other tools like Simple Talk and Lindy, most often than not, you'll have a human representative at their end that you can reach out to and say, hey, I need to figure out how to do XYZ, and they'll get on a call with you and they'll walk you through exactly how to do it. But the time, if I really want to launch an agent today, if I start now, I could probably have an agent up and running within the next hour. These agents are really good with what information you feed them. If I did the same exact phone call with half the information that I put in the knowledge base, it would be horrible. So the first step of what you're saying is really iteration. But with higher end clients, what I would say is this: anytime that the agent is kind of going in a loop, you have to tell it that if you're about to repeat an answer, go ahead and send it to a human, so that the person at the end of the line, if it's a high ticket client, if it's somebody that's really, really important, or someone who's about to pay you, a high ticket value aspect or whatever, you can basically program it to say, go ahead and send it to a manager at that point, so that the customer has a good experience. Where that is for us is if a customer calls in wanting to make a payment. This very, very rarely happens, but let's say they're wanting to use a payment method that I didn't factor in. Now they want to pay me $2,000 on that phone call. If I lose that time, I may not be able to get that customer back on the line to convert later. So the AI agent is basically going to say, I don't know what payment method, or I don't know that payment method specifically, but my manager can help you out. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to go grab them for you, so that the customer feels like they're getting even more importance and they're getting a manager on the line and they feel better. But negotiation, error handling is really good. So it's rapidly picking up the pace of what it can and can't do, and it's improving very, very quickly.